There are 5 TSP mistakes high earner federal employees make, and some of them can cost you over $200,000. If you're a federal employee and most of your retirement savings are sitting in your traditional TSP, this one is for you. I've found that the people who save the most over a 20 to 30 year federal career are the ones who get tripped up the most by their TSP near retirement. And it's just because the rules work differently than most people expect. So today I'm going to walk you through these 5 TSP mistakes. I'll show you what each one can cost, how to spot it, and how to think it through. Now, if you're new here, my name is Tom. I'm a certified financial planner, and I solely work with federal employees and helping them retire without guessing. So here's the thing about a big TSP balance. You worked hard, you saved, and the number looks great, but the reality is that balance is not all yours. A big chunk of a traditional TSP is actually a future tax bill, and the timing of that bill is not fully in your control. So let's walk through some of these so you can decide what to do while you still have options. Mistake number 1 is maxing out your TSP too fast and leaving free money behind. Most high earners I work with want to hit the contribution limit as early in the year as they can. And while that may sound like a good thing, the problem is the agency match is calculated every single pay period, not once a year. So if you hit the early limit, maybe in October, your contributions stop. And when your contributions stop, that 5% match can stop right along with them. You can walk away from a couple $1,000s of free money in your final working years every year you do it. So to prevent this from happening, take your yearly target, divide it across all your pay periods, and make sure you are still putting in at least 5% with every paycheck through December. For example, a GS-15 who maxes out by early fall can give up around $2,000 of match in a year, plus all the growth that money would have earned over the next 20 or 30 years. Now, that's the easy one. The next few are where it gets more interesting. Mistake number 2 is getting too conservative too early without really deciding. A lot of federal employees drift into the G fund over the years. Now, some do it on purpose because it's safer, but many do it without ever making a real decision, and then one day they look up and most of their money is parked there in the G fund. Now, the main job of the G fund is to protect your money and it doesn't lose value when the market drops. The problem starts when it stops being a tool and becomes the whole toolbox. On a large balance, being too safe for too long can cost you the growth that it's supposed to fund your later retirement years, which could last 30 or more years in retirement, right? That's a long time to sit mostly on the sidelines in the G fund. Now, we're not trying to chase returns here either. We want to pick a mix you can actually live with through a bad market and then check it once a year so it doesn't drift out on its own. So I found rather than asking what is the best fund I should invest in, it's what can I hold without panicking when the market drops 20%. That'll protect you and will allow your money to grow. Now let's talk about how you get it out of the accounts. Mistake number 3 is rolling your whole TSP to an IRA the moment you retire. And here's where this can backfire. If you leave federal service in the year you turn 55 or later, you can take money from your TSP without the 10% early withdrawal penalty. That's an effective strategy if you retire before 59 and a half, but that only works inside the TSP. The day you roll everything to an IRA, you lose it. And now you have to wait until age 59 and a half to touch the money without a penalty. So before you move anything, figure out how much you'll need to live on between your retirement date and age 59 and a half. Keep at least that much in the TSP where you can reach it penalty free. Then move the rest if a rollover makes sense for your situation. Now, for someone who retires at 56, this one decision can be the difference between a smooth bridge to 59 and a half and a surprise penalty on the very money they needed to pull from first. Now, that's the easy part of getting money out. This next one trips up a lot of people. So moving on, mistake number 4 is counting on a safe bucket inside the TSP that does not work the way you think. Most people I talk to assume they can leave their stocks alone in a down market and just pull their income from the safe side instead in their TSP. Now that makes complete sense, but it just doesn't work that way inside the TSP. When you take a withdrawal, the TSP pulls it from every fund you own in the same proportions you hold them. So if you are 70% in stocks and 30% in the G fund, then 70% of that withdrawal comes out of the stock portion, even in a bad year. You can't tell it to pull only from the safe side in your TSP. Now, here's why this is really important. Selling stocks while they are down, especially early on in retirement, is one of the fastest ways to damage your retirement nest egg. If protecting your income in a down market is part of your plan, that's one of the bigger reasons some retirees move a portion of their money to an IRA, where you do get to choose what to sell when pulling money out. So moving some to an IRA gives you more control on your distributions. So it depends on your situation, right? And for many people, staying in the TSP is just fine. You simply want to know going in that the TSP doesn't give you that control. All right, this last one is the big one. Mistake number 5 is missing your best tax window and letting forced withdrawals run the show. Here's the part most people don't see coming. Your traditional TSP has required withdrawals built into it. Starting at age 73 or 75, depending on the year you were born, the government makes you take money out whether you need it or not, and you pay tax on every single dollar. On a big balance, those forced withdrawals stack right on top of your pension and on top of your Social Security, and that can push you into higher tax brackets and raise your Medicare premiums well into your 70s and 80s. And it often lands hardest on your surviving spouse who is filing taxes alone but still carrying all of that income. Now, the good news is the years between when you retire and when those withdrawals start are often your lowest income years. That window is a chance to move your money from your traditional TSP into a Roth, pay the tax now while your rate is lower, and shrink that forced income later. So let me show you what that can look like with an example. Picture a couple, their names are Mark and Susan. They're both 60, retiring this year with a pension around $70,000 and $1.4 million in their traditional TSP. If they do nothing, that balance keeps growing. By age 75, it's around $3.3 million. Their first forced withdrawal is about $136,000. That lands on top of their pension and their Social Security. So now they have around $266,000 of income they did not really choose in that year, and it keeps climbing up from there. Now look at the other path. In their 60s, while their income is still lower than it will be once all the forced withdrawals and both Social Security checks start, they move about $95,000 a year from the traditional TSP into a Roth. With their pension and that conversion together, they stay roughly inside the 22% tax bracket under today's rules. They pay the tax on their terms, the future growth in the Roth comes out tax-free, and those forced withdrawals at 75 shrink way down. Over their retirement, the difference between those two paths can be around $300,000, and for some couples, a good bit more. Now, Roth conversions are not meant for everyone. Paying tax sooner has a real cost, and the right answer depends on your growth, your future tax rates, your Medicare premiums, your state taxes, and when you turn on Social Security. So this is something you want to map out for your own numbers and not just copy from a video. If you're a federal employee within about 5 to 10 years of retirement and you're not 100% sure when you can retire or what your real paycheck will be, I made something for you. It's called your Federal Retirement Readiness Blueprint Guide. It's a free step-by-step workbook that walks you through the 7 key steps: verifying your service time, estimating your net FERS pension, stacking your income from the pension, TSP, and Social Security, making sense of FEHB and Medicare, and checking the survivor picture for your spouse. If you set aside about an hour with this guide, a pen, and your statements, you'll have a much clearer idea of when you can retire and what your actual take-home paycheck will look like, rather than depending on just the gross numbers from an HR estimate. So here's what to do next. Click the link below this video and download the guide for free. You'll get instant access. And if, as you go through it, you decide you'd like help running your exact numbers, on that same page, you'll also see a spot to request a free federal retirement blueprint call with me. On that call, we'll put your first pension, TSP, Social Security, FEHB, and taxes onto one clear page so you can see if you're truly ready to retire and what your real paycheck will be. So start by grabbing the guide at the link below, and then if you want help applying it to your situation, request your blueprint call and we'll walk through it together.